Good afternoon, this is Dominic with the BackVlog. A little while ago, because I have a whole backlog of things of videos to make, I finished Killer7. Got Robin's hair in my mouth. I finished Suda51's Killer7, published by Capcom. Always good to have a Capcom classic around here. This thing was phenomenal. I think this is probably one of my favorite games so far of this year. First of all, I would like to mention that if you follow this channel, you know that the music that I listen to, like casually, on my phone and everything, is all music that I own a physical copy of. I don't stream music anymore. And, you know, it makes me, first of all, vet my collection to make sure like all the stuff that I have is stuff that I actually want to listen to. But also just to, like, you know, take control of what I listen to and not just be algorithmically fed by Spotify or YouTube. That being said, Killer7 made me break that rule. After finishing this game, I really needed to listen to the music, and I found on the Internet Archive a treasure trove of not only Killer7's soundtrack, but a plethora of other video game soundtracks. So just as a side tangent, please look at the Internet Archive. It is a phenomenal resource for lesser known films, like cult films and music, and like anime and stuff like that. It is so cool just to even browse on that thing. But yeah, I found the Killer7 soundtrack and now I have that on my phone. So the music in this is fantastic. You got classic, like early 2000s drum and bass. You got like jazz stuff. You got like Aphex Twin sounding grooves. First things first, Killer7 is a incredibly complex political puzzle, and you know, with its surrealist nature, a lot of the symbolism in it is very thought-provoking, and there are so many layers of things and so many like implications that you really kind of need to study really to really grasp the entirety of what Suda51 is trying to say here. If I had one complaint about it, not to say it's like a complaint, but after, like in the first level at the very end, I guess during the boss, I think, if I remember correctly, you switch over to Harmon Smith, who is the wheelchair assassin, and he's like a Duke Nukem old man, and he's got like these one-liners, and they're so funny. And I just wish kind of that like you had more opportunities to play as Harmon Smith throughout the game. I feel like I only remember a few instances where you're actually doing so. His one-liners in it, in at least that first section, I don't remember any of them at the top of my head, but they're so funny and they're so good. That's another thing. The writing of this game is like, it's really witty and like incredibly funny. You know, compared to like No More Heroes, which I'm not the biggest fan of. That's my only other Suda51 exploration. This feels a lot less like written by an edgy teenager trying to be cool. And I know there is an air of parody in No More Heroes, but it just felt a little much to me. But here it felt really clever. I thought it was anyway. I love the anime cutscenes in this game. I really love just in a lot of Japanese games when there are anime cutscenes, and I wish I could play a game where every cutscene is an anime cutscene fully. But I know how time-consuming and expensive that would be, but like that would be so nice, especially during the alter ego section, which is like the Power Rangers chapter. I don't know what it was, but pretty much every single cutscene in that chapter was an anime cutscene, and it looked so beautiful, very like Satoshi Kon-esque. Just like the way that the characters are drawn, they're so stylish, and the direction of the scenes is so stylish. That's another thing I need to talk about though. The direction of the cutscenes in general even aside from the anime cutscenes. It's so well directed. They're so tense. You know, the comedic timing is there too. One thing that really stands out to me is the pacing of the Russian roulette scene towards the end of the game. And first of all, the song that plays during the Russian roulette scene, which is entitled Russian Roulette, if you want to look it up on YouTube, that song, I had my headphones on and I was making the stank face because it was really, really good. And that's the song that I was like, okay, I need to get this soundtrack on my phone. So yeah, that song is incredible. That scene was incredible though. The pacing of it was just, it was enthralling. It was so well paced and just so tense and freaking badass, dude. It was so good. Not only do you have the direction of it, but you have the brutality of it too, of these scenes. It's got the hyper stylized violence of Quentin Tarantino films, but the cruelty of like a Michael Haneke film. You know, there are instances like where people are dying, and it's like, you know, it's like this surreal and like oversaturated kind of like, you know, blood and gore and everything. But the actual like act of the things that are happening is just so cruel. And if in any other like art direction or art style would be something that's like, I don't really want to look at this because it's like, it's just really, it's super gory. And you know, there's really dark sections of this. I'm really surprised that a lot of this was able to not only make it to a video game at the time, a video game rated M, but like something that would have actually been localized over here. Like, not that it's like so intense that it would have been rated adults only, but I'm just surprised that there was stuff in here that wasn't like censored whenever it came over here. Traversing through these levels with its unique control scheme where it's like you're holding X to move, and it's basically just like choosing which direction to go. You don't really move in the conventional sense. And then, you know, the way that the gunplay is, it feels like really awkward a little bit, and it took a little while to like kind of get used to. And I never really got good at aiming, so I was like really bad at this. And like you know, to hit the weak points, that's how you get like the blood. And you know, there's these blood mechanics and everything that allow you to heal and everything, but there's also kind of like a trade-off too, because they're also like your alternate weapons and stuff like that. With all of that, and like with how deadly some of the enemies in here are, and with just my bad aim and everything, this kind of had like an air of like survival horror to it too, where it's like every single time I was going, like, it reminded me of when I was playing Silent Hill, just any of them, and like I would play with my flashlight off so as not to get into any encounters, but I'm also very directionally challenged. So it's like whenever I go into a room, I'll turn my flashlight on for a second just to like look at the map, because like, you know, it has like the light mechanics and everything. And, you know, I'll try to figure out where I'm going, and then I'll turn my light off right away to like avoid encounters. And every single time I go into a room, and it's like the same thing with like Resident Evil, whenever you're going into a room, and you know, you have like the door being opened, and like that's the loading screen and everything. It's like your heart is beating, and you're dreading what's on the other side. Even if you know what's on the other side, sometimes it's like the run back is like really intense, especially if like you're in your or if you're in a really bad situation, like health wise or whatever. There was an intensity to me going through these levels just because I was not good at this game. I thought that was incredible. The art direction in this game is so stylish and so memorable. I love this, like, it's kind of like this cell shaded kind of like comic book-esque like feel to it. And this game is like proof that art direction will go way further than ultra realism in the modern era of gaming. It just looks so good. I love Killer7. Killer7, I'm going to be thinking about this one for a very long time. And after I finished it, like, going back to like the cruelty and everything, like, I felt weird during some of my sessions playing this, where I was like, man, this like feels like a really bad time. And you know, there are the other things in it about it, like the comedy in it and like the art style that kind of like lessen the blow of how cool it can be sometimes. But it just like kind of like made me feel bad. But now like that enough time has passed and I'm like I finished it weeks ago. I really want to go back and play it again. It's like I've been thinking about it a lot. It's really really good. I recommend this game, Killer7. This is definitely if you're into PS2 gaming, this is definitely a game to check out. It's really good. It's an experience, and it's I don't know. I don't have anything else to say about it. It's just incredible.